Listen to me, I know what they said about you. I heard it all before you did. Every accusation, every whisper twisted into sharpness, every stare that tried to reduce your soul to a mistake, a moment, a label you never chose. They thought I turned away when they turned their backs, but I leaned closer, not to agree with them, but to cover you from the stones they were about to throw. You are not what they called you. You are not the shame they tried to attach to your name. You are not the story they made out of pieces they didn't understand. You are mine, and I saw everything, yes. Even the wrong, yes. Even the moment you fell, but I didn't abandon you. I never left the scene. I was there in the dirt with you when no one else. Stay at thee walked away. They measured you against their own wounds and decided to treat you as less. But I bent low. I wrote something eternal in the dust of that moment, not to remind you of your failure, but to rewrite your name in mercy. You see, I have always used the misunderstood. I have always lifted those cast aside. I never demanded perfection. Before I called someone mine, I met them in their mess. I called them in their despair, and I restored them in the eyes of grace. Not the eyes of Memphis is not the end of your story. The judgment of others is not the final word. I have something to say too, and my voice outweighs them. Alu may have fallen, but you are not forsaken. You may have broken something, but you are not broken beyond repair. They saw the mistake. I see the heart that aches for healing. They focused on your wrong. I see your hunger for right. They condemned. I call you closer. You don't need to hide from me. You don't need to earn my attention. You don't have to prove your worth. You already had it when I formed you, when I breathed into your lungs, when I chose you before they ever saw your face. I knew your soul. The only see what happened. I see who you're becoming. I see the oil of joy waiting to pour over your mourning. I see the crown of beauty rising from your ashes. I see light returning to the place they tried to darken with Shamiso. Come not with excuses, not with defenses, just come with your heart open. I can handle your wounds. I can handle the places that ache. I can handle your silence and your tears and your questions, because I am not afraid of your humanity. I created it, and I came into it to show you I would not leave you in it alone. You not too far gone. You're not too messed up. You're not too stained. You are the one I leave the night time for. You are the one I wait at. The well to speak with. You are the one I defend when everyone else has dropped their stones but still holds on to their judgment in secrecy. Am the only judge that matters, and I chose mercy. I chose redemption. I chose the cross. I chose Yah. You're not after you get it all right, but right here, in this breath, in this moment, with all that you carry, with all that you've done, with all that you wish you could undo, I still choose. Yathi may say it's over. They may say you ruined it. They may say you can't come back, but I say, watch what I do with this. Watch what I do with your surrender. Watch what I build from what they thought was ruined. Watch how I take your shame and make it shine back out. That's what light does. It exposes lies. It reveals truth. It brings warmth. It gives life. And my light does not come to shame you. It comes to heal you, to reveal who you were always meant to be, beneath the layers of labels, beneath the words that wounded, beneath the moments that hurt you. I'm not here to replay the voices of your accusers. I am here to silence them with love, and love doesn't excuse sin, it defeats it. Love doesn't deny the wound, it binds it up. Love doesn't throw stones, it breaks them in half and uses them to build something new. In rebuilding you stone by stone, truth by truth, grace by grace, until you see yourself not through the eyes of the crowd but through the eyes of your Creator. Are not the mistake. You are the one I came to restore. You are not the outcast. You are the child I run toward. You are not the shame. You are the story of redemption. I am still writing, and no, I am not done. There's more to come, more beauty, more healing, more understanding. But first, let me hold the part of you they hurt. Let me speak into the silence they left. Let me be the voice that calls you out of hiding. Don't be afraid. I already know everything, and still I draw near, not to punish, but to set you free. You know what freedom looks like. It looks like peace where guilt used to live. It looks like joy where fear once reigned. It looks like rest where striving once exhausted you. It looks like me alive in you. So don't run from me, run to me, and don't wait until you feel worthy. You won't ever feel ready enough, but I am ready now. I've been waiting. The moment they walked away, I stayed. The moment they turned their backs, I turned my heart toward you. I never agreed with their condemnation, because I already paid the price to call you clean, and what I have called clean, no one has the right to call unworthy. I'm not looking for your perfection. I'm looking for your yes, your honesty, your tears, your brokenness, because that's where my glory rests, not in polished appearances, but in surrendered solstice is where the light enters, not through pride, but through humility, not through hiding, but through honesty, not through pretending, but through pretended with me. Here, be real with me, and you'll see I won't flinch. At your truth, I'll kneel with you in it, I'll walk with you through it, and I'll raise you up from it until every voice fades and only mine remains, the one that says, you are loved, you are chosen, you are seen, you are forgiven, you are mine. You've heard too many voices, and now your soul doesn't know which one to trust. Some sounded like truth, but were laced with control. Others came dressed in concern, but carried hidden stones. You don't need another voice, you need presence, mine. Not to argue with the past, but to rebuild what it tried to tear down. You don't have to explain. I see everything clearly. You don't have to defend what is sacred inside you, because I already protect E.T. Don't come to revisit the trial. I come to release the persona. You were never meant to live under that weight. You were never designed to carry shame like a shadow. You were made in my image, breathed into by my spirit, formed in the quiet of eternity, with purpose, with beauty, with light, and no moment, no failure, no word spoken against. You can erase what I've written into your mind. Thee only touched the surface, but I've known the depths. They only saw the action, but I've always seen the intention. Your healing doesn't begin with them, it begins here in this silence, where your soul leans close again, where the heart that once hid from me dares to list. This is not repair, this is resurrection. I'm not patching up the old, I'm calling forth the new, a name that doesn't carry accusation, a life not stained by history, a future unchained from the past. Speak identity not based on your success or failure, but on my covenant with you. You are not a project, you are a child, not an issue to be fixed, but a soul to be loved back into wholeness. You don't owe me an explanation, you don't need perfect words. I'm not asking you to perform, I'm asking you to return to the place where I first spoke your name, the place untouched by the noise, the place they couldn't find, where only I could reach. You're tired of carrying the memory, tired of trying to feel clean, tired of trying to act strong. Let all that fall away here. I'm not impressed by masks, I'm moved by truth, even when it trembles. So tremble, cry, let your breath catch in your chest, and don't hide from me. This is holy ground, not because it's perfect, but because you've stopped running. This is reconciliation, not by your effort, but by my Maki. Didn't come to remind you of what they said, I came to remind you of who you are. You belong, not because you earned it, but because I created a space in my heart only you could fit. You've been trying to prove yourself in front of people when I've already given you a place beside me. You've been chasing acceptance while I've been standing with open arms. Sue forgot, but I never did. He remember the softness in your prayers, even when they were whispered between tears. I remember your hunger for me, even when you didn't have words. I remember the look in your eyes, the one that said, don't give up on me. I never did, never will work. They called a failure, I now call a testimony. What they labeled as broken, I have made sacred back. I don't need the world's approval to call something beautiful. I decide, and I have called you. Monet, don't just forgive, I restore. I don't just restore, I transform you. Name carries a new sound in heaven, a melody written in grace, a song not born of performance, but of promise. You will not walk as the one they tried to diminish, you will walk as the one I raised from ashes. You will move in the authority of love, not the fear of rejection. No, you don't have to carry their words anymore, lay them down, they were never yours to hold. Take what I give instead, peace that doesn't waver, joy not rooted in approval, a calling deeper than anything they could ever define. This is your return, not to what you were, but to what I intended all along. And no, it's not to let outside of time, and when I speak I redeem every hour, every year, every wound you thought was wasted. Evan, the silence was growing something, even the waiting was preparing you, even the dark was not without purpose, because I dwell even there, especially there where no one else reached. I do right now. Lies you believed are dissolving under the weight of my truth, and the fear that told you to hide is being silenced by the gentle voice calling you by name. Again, this is what it means to be not exposed for shame, but uncovered for healing. This is what it means to be restored, not made into someone else, but becoming fully who you are in the safety of my love. This is not about fixing you, it's about freeing you. So let the old names fall, let the old weight sink, let the silence open, because I'm filling the space again with purpose, with clarity, with breath. You are being made new, not as an idea, but in reality, in the way you think, in the way you see yourself, in the way you walk forward without flinching. You not bound to who you were, you're not defined by that moment. You are alive again, called by light, named by heaven, guided by my spirit, no longer wandering but returning home. And home is not a place they control. Home is my presence. Home is where your soul is safe again. Home is in the sound of my voice, the one that says you still belong, you always died. And this is only the beginning, not of performance, but of presence, not of proving, but of perception. Kind of peace that says you don't have to strive anymore, you don't have to hide your wounds, you don't have to shrink beneath their memory. You are rising, and this time you're rising with me. I see the way you hesitate now before reaching for hope as if it might disappear like the others. Did you? Don't say it out loud, but I hear the question beneath your breath. Will this love last? Or is it like theirs, conditional, fragile, temporary? Need you to know my love is not like theirs. I don't turn away when you're most undone. I don't grow weary of your need. I don't keep a ledger of your failures. I carry you even when your hands have no strength left to hold on. Your pain matters to me, not just as a moment but as a history that shaped you and a weight you were never meant to bear. Alone he watched how they looked at you as if your worth had an expiration, as if your heart was too complicated, too stained, to muck. But you've never been too much for me. You've always been enough, even in the moments you tried to disappear. Even when you thought you had to shrink to survive, were never a burden to my heart. You were always my joy, my longing, my beloved, and it hurts me to see how deeply the judgment scarred you, how it taught you to distrust kindness, how it made you question if healing was real or just another disguise for rejection. But listen closely, I don't offer healing with hidden conditions. I don't give affection to manipulate you. I don't draw near only to pull away. I come with a steady heart and a quiet strength to rebuild what was broken, not just on the outside but deep within, where the fractures have never fully clothed your soul. Still trembles sometimes when you feel love draw near, because part of you expects it to vanish, to disappoint you like before. But I won't, I can't. I made a promise sealed in blood, not a contract written in ink, but a covenant carved into eternity that says you are mine forever. Not until you mess up again, not until you disappoint someone else, not until you fall short of someone's standards. Mine is not a love that leaves. Mine is not a hand that drops you when you fall. Mine is not a heart that grows cold in the face of your confusion. I have walked with the shamed before. I have wept with the misunderstood. I have defended the fragile and cradled the forgotten, and I do the same with you, not from a distance but from within the ache itself. I know how hard it is to believe you are still worthy after being spoken about like a problem, treated like a burden, left out like you never matter it. But I am here to show you that your worth never left. Even when they deviate, I'm here not just to heal the wounds but to stay afterward. When the world forgets, I remain. You been trying to convince yourself that you're okay because that's what they needed you to be. Silent, manageable, easy to understand, but I'm not asking for that. I want the real you, the you that still questions things, the you that still gets angry, the you that still feels abandoned sometimes. I want the full story, not the edited version. Because I can handle it, I can carry it, I can love you through it, not because you're perfect, but because I see the truth behind it all, the child in you who just wanted to be seen. The heart in you that still hopes, still wants to believe that someone could see it all and stay. That Sumiona, don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to protect me from your sadness. You don't have to apologize for needing comfort. I created comfort. I created you. I created this moment so that you would know you're not walking through this unseen. Your tears have not gone unnoticed. They water the soil where new life is being planted, not just survival but resurrection. Joy without fear, peace without pretending, love without performance. You are being renewed quietly but powerfully in the places they thought were ruined, and that parts of you even you gave up owned, while others walked away assuming your silence meant defeat. I saw it as surrender, not to them but to May. You gave me the fragments and I took them in my hands, not to erase your story but to fill it with light. You will not walk in their shadow anymore. You were not created to fit into the mold they designed. You were created for freedom, for beauty, for belonging that doesn't waver, and I am deeply committed to making sure you remember Thathis is not just healing, its restoration of dignity, of identity, of divine purpose. You are not just recovering, you are returning to who you've always been in my heart, and though the judgment tried to shape you, I am reshaping you in love with truth through Gracith. World tried to name you, but my voice carries the final word, and it calls you redeemed, whole, chosen, cherished. May remember your lowest moment, but I remember every step you took after every tear you let fall and still stood up again, and I was proud of you, not just when you succeeded but when you trusted me, even when you didn't understand. This is how I love you, without measurement, without comparison, without end. Comparison without end. Stay here with me, rest your thoughts, rest your fight, and listen to my heart beat for you, not because I have to, but because I want to, because you matter. Because you are worth protecting, because your presence brings joy to my spirit, and I am not leaving, I'm not finished, I'm not letting go. I'm restoring you from the inside out with compassion, with gentleness, with a love that won't break when tested and won't vanish when questioned. This is the beginning of a new tenderness, a new trust, a new you, and I'm walking it with you every step, with care, with honor, with love. Come closer now. You don't have to stand at a distance anymore. The door is open, not because you forced it, but because I opened it for you. Why you Vi carried questions for too long, held your breath, waiting to be told whether you're worthy, but the truth has always been here settled in my heart, not in the words of others, not in the judgments that followed you like shadows, but in the stillness of my gaze. Never looked away when others lost interest in your pain. I stayed when they chose to remember the worst in you. I remained faithful to what I placed inside you, because what I plant I never forget, and what I begin I finish. You are not unfinished anymore. You are unfolding. You are becoming not someone new, but the version of you that's always been known. In Have no more trying to earn the space. You already have no more apologizing for simply being, no more shrinking to fit into places too small for your Kalinji. Have made room for you, not just in my arms, but in my story, in the world, in eternity. And now you can rest, not because all the pain is gone, but because you're not facing it alone, not because every question is answered, but because you are held in something greater than certainty. You are held in me and am not fragile. I do not abandon, I do not fail thee. Told you to be strong, so you hid the ache, but strength is not silence. Strength is trusting that your soul can be safe again, and now it is with me, where there is no fear of being too much, no fear of being misunderstood, no fear of losing love the moment you falter. Know how tender your heart really is, how deeply you feel, how much you try to protect others, even when you're the one bleeding. See that, and I honor it, not with pity, but with awe, because even in all your pain, you still kept some part of your heart soft. You still kept seeking light. You still whispered my name, even when the echo felt hollow. We heard every time, and now your heart can expel you. Don't have to defend your healing. You don't have to explain your return. I welcome you, not as one who wandered too far, but as one I've been walking toward all along, and in my presence, nothing is wasted. Not the pain, not the silence, not the tears you thought no one noticed. It gathered them and watered a garden within you, and now new life is breaking through quietly, gently, without demand, without pressure, but with power, real power, the kind that heals the inner place, not just the image. You don't need to prove transformation. Let it unfold. Let the joy return slowly, like dawn after a long night. Let hope take its time, and let peace become your new rhythm. Beckers, I am not rushing you. I am walking with you every step, every stumble, every moment of wonder. This is how I restore, not by making you someone else, but by returning you to yourself, the self that knew my voice before the world grew loud, the soul that was always mine, always safe, always seen. You were not too late. You were right on time for this, for now, for grace to become your foundation. You've been rebuilt on something eternal, and it will not crumble against her. Let the past rest, let the voices quiet, let the fear release its grip. You are not who they said you were. You are who I say you are. A light, a vessel of compassion, a reflection of my mercy, a home for my presence. You carry something sacred now, not because of what you've been through, but because of what I've made of. I am proud of you, not for performing, but for trusting, not for pretending to be whole, but for letting me hold your pitches. You are whole, not because nothing ever broke, but because I stayed with you through every fracture and loved you into healing. No, stand in that love, walk in it, speak from it, live from it. They may not understand, but I do. They may forget, but I won't. They may still point at what was, but I will always point to what isn't, what is true, what is eternal. What is written in heaven is this: you are mine fully forever, without condition, without shame, without fear. And my light is not just around you, it is within you. No, so walk on, not in reaction to judgment, but in response to grace. Walk as one who has been chosen, held, renewed, and released into the world, not with bitterness, but with beauty, not with heaviness, but with peace. You are not what happened, you are what I redeemed, and this is just the beginning.